Morning everyone, welcome to the paper rounds. The World Cup is finished for England anyway. Did it ever get started for Kobbie Mainoo though? I mean, that's the main headline. Going through all of the tabloids, going through the papers, going through the headlines online, it's all on Tuchel's future. Is he fit for purpose? Is he going to last the course for England? Does he warrant, because as in his words, finishing in England's highest ever position in a World Cup in over 60 years. Is that improvement? He was brought in to win the trophy. You can't hide away from that. And certain ways that he has dealt with situations in this World Cup is coming under massive scrutiny online and in the papers and, well, basically everywhere. It's all anybody's talking about. Obviously, England win 6-4 yesterday. Woo, amazing. Don't care, really don't care. Honestly, that is probably more opinionated for me and my side of things. And obviously, this is the best that we've done in a World Cup since we won it. You can't argue with the stats, you can't argue with facts, I know that. And I always say that, don't I? But let's be honest, come on, you're there to win the World Cup, you're there to win the big trophy. That's the manager that we picked. We tried pretty much every different type of manager that there is to try for England to make it work. These players, when it comes to the next World Cup, half of them are going to be older and too old to play in this World Cup. So can you even look at this as a progressive step for England? I don't think you can. And then you look at how he's treated Kobbie Mainoo. And I'm going to say this, he has treated him differently. For Kobbie Mainoo to not be playing in that game yesterday, he felt something in his back. In the last training session, before the last game, before England come home, after we get rumours coming out about Kobbie Mainoo not training well in previous weeks, I think this can always be built up by the media and always be made worse by what a manager says. Like, things like that shouldn't come out in the public in the first place. There's no need for it to come out about what's going on behind the scenes. You don't need to come out and say, obviously Tuchel's defending himself here, I think, with this one. He's defending himself in terms of not playing Kobbie Mainoo. And I think ultimately when you look at the game time for Kobbie, then players that have played already, then there was a problem behind the scenes. I'm not saying that Kobbie Mainoo has trained well. I don't know. Nobody knows what happens behind closed doors for England. But let's be honest, like, Kobbie Mainoo is going to train well. Like, there might be a few training sessions, where he's not trained well, maybe. And Tuchel might have said, look, he's not trained as well recently. We need more from him. It's fair enough. It's fair enough. The manager should just come out and pick the players that he wants to play. But don't come out with excuses. Don't come out with reasons why you don't pick Kobbie Mainoo. You just don't like the way that he plays. It's plain and simple, isn't it? That's it, and that's the only thing that you can really say. But no, he's coming out with excuses. He's coming out with no acceptance of what's happened in this World Cup at all. Look, when you need a change of plan, when you need to do something different, you've got players on the bench there for that reason. You're judged on how you manage that team. You're judged on how you deal with that situation. And going back to the wall against Argentina is always going to be looked at as a huge managerial decision, a mistake. And unfortunately, that's what Thomas Tuchel is going to be remembered as. For me, as an Englishman, someone watching this World Cup, I'm going to remember it for how we bottled the semi-final against Argentina. I don't care about any of the other games. I've said it all along. You're ranked 4th in the world. You're expected to get to the semi-final. Your tournament starts there, and you failed again. Gareth Southgate could have done exactly what Tuchel has done. I'm sure Gareth Southgate might have actually played Kobbie Mainoo. Look, it sounds like it's been overly biased towards a Man United player and things like that here with what I'm saying about Thomas Tuchel, but come on, let's be fair. There is definitely something going on, and he cannot come out and say that he has treated everybody fairly in that tournament. And then the last chance that Kobbie Mainoo would have had to play in that tournament, I mean, seriously, to then come out and say that he's actually picked up an injury in the last training session of the whole summer, I mean, it just doesn't fit, does it? It really doesn't fit. I mean, on top of that, obviously, the main news that everybody's talking about now that it is all domestic football again is, of course, Morgan Rogers and that record fee. Oh my God, that is something else, isn't it? Like 117 million for Morgan Rogers makes it look like Man United were doing good business last summer. You think that we got Mbeumo and Cunha for, what is it, about 140 million, 135 million. And Morgan Rogers is 117 on his own. I'm sorry, he isn't better or way better than either of them two. And I think we deserve a little bit of credit in terms of how Man United did business. I know it was a year ago and transfer window was different this summer. And I think we'll be judged again on how we get our transfers done. And if Chelsea do not end up, obviously, qualifying for Europe again, they're going to be judged on that. And it'll be interesting to see if actually anybody comes back and talks about what Man United did in terms of their business. If they, for instance, do qualify for Europe, Chelsea don't, it's all going to come down to what happens on the pitch, isn't it? I'll still, for the life of me, and I did a video yesterday on this, I'll never understand why Morgan Rogers has gone to Chelsea. I can only think money. I get it, Xabi Alonso, great up and coming manager, he had a big part to say in it, but these managers calling these players up and trying to sell these projects, like the De Zerbi one with Spurs and bringing in Tonali and Fernandes, I'm not having it at all. Like Xabi Alonso, yes, he had that winning season at Bayer Leverkusen, that unbeaten season. He deserves a lot of credit for that, he does, because he's gone up against what is normally a two-team league, isn't it, in Dortmund and Bayern. I know Leverkusen have done good in the past. I don't want to disrespect the club, but there's no way that Xabi Alonso is convincing Morgan Rogers to go to Chelsea. I just don't get it. There has to be a big pay packet in there in terms of that contract. 7 years is what it's looking like. I honestly, I don't understand it. I don't think it's... I don't know, actually. I actually don't know. Like, I'm stuck for word, and it just shows you how lost I am with that transfer. But look, there's a lot that's come from this World Cup. There's a lot of performers that have come from the England side that have done well. Actually, as a Man United fan right now, I'm looking at this and I'm going, you know what? Kobbie Mainoo rested out for the season, not played too much this summer, still trained throughout. When he comes back, he's probably going to be sharp, he's going to be chomping at the bit, he's going to want to prove people completely wrong, in particular Thomas Tuchel. I think it could benefit Man United massively what's happened this summer. I feel really sorry for Kobbie Mainoo, I really do, but I'm sorry. Thomas Tuchel, I'm not too sure. I used to like this guy. I used to think he was a good coach, but maybe club level is where it's at, where he can get away with certain things like this, but nah, not at international level. And honestly, if we've got to do that again in Europe, can England beat Spain in the Euros? No, I don't. I think you're going to see Harry Kane a lot older. You're going to see a few of them players there that just, well, I know there's some young players coming through, but I just think in our key players there, like Harry Kane, there's no one to replace Harry Kane in that England squad. And that's my biggest concern. And Thomas Tuchel, he's probably going to get one more tournament in it, and that's it. Anyway, let me know what you think. Those are your papers, those are your headlines, those are everything that's going on right now. And please do hit that subscribe button, obviously. Make sure you like the video and get your comments in below. Has Tuchel misjudged that whole World Cup, that squad and what he had at his disposal? Is Morgan Rogers crazy to go to Chelsea for that much money? Is it money? Let me know, get in the comments. Cheers for watching, everyone.